All right, you've heard by now, President Trump is putting a 145% tariff on nearly all goods coming in to the United States from China.
My dishwasher is what's wrong with capitalism. Today's appliances, like many consumer products, are built to break. It is not a matter of consumers mistreating their products. It is designed to maximize corporate profits. This is a concept called planned obsolescence. 6 years ago, we paid about $700 for a new KitchenAid dishwasher. Since then, we've spent considerably more than that getting it repaired. Each repairman, and they've all been men, came to our house, told us the same thing. Most of today's appliances are junk. They are designed to break down, so consumers have to keep buying new ones, make expensive repairs, or buy costly extended warranties. So when we originally purchased the dishwasher, we didn't buy it after the 1-year warranty that comes with the appliance, which is why we've poured so much money into it as it keeps breaking down. We thought that extra warranties were a ripoff, so instead we kept hoping that each repair would be the last. And each time we were wrong. It cost $150 each time a technician came to the house. Then there are additional costs for labor and parts, like a few $100s to replace a rubber rack whose wheels kept breaking. I don't think they're very smart. Last month, the damn machine wouldn't even start, so a Sears technician came to our house and fixed the problem, which was a broken fuse. So finally this week, when the dishwasher again wouldn't start, the Sears repairman, who came to fix it by replacing the fuse again, persuaded us to buy a 5-year warranty that cost $500. Why? He said it was smarter to buy the warranty than to buy a new dishwasher because the new ones are more fragile than the older ones. In essence, the 5-year warranty, which Sears calls our master production agreement, requires consumers to pay almost double for major appliances. First you buy the appliance, then you purchase the extended warranty, which costs almost as much as the machine. They sucker us into this arrangement because we know that most appliances are not built to last, but to break. Indeed, the Sears repairman offered to sell us additional warranties for our refrigerator, washing machine and dryer, air conditioner, and hot water heater. Economists used to call these products durable goods. Remember that, older folks here? Durable goods? Nothing is durable. But that term, it just seems so out of date. In retrospect, we should have purchased the extended warranty when we originally bought the appliance. But now, nope, we've done it. It is never too late to learn. But what exactly did we learn? This isn't a problem linked to dishwashers. 66% of U.S. homes have one, and I guess the other have these. Or to KitchenAid or Sears product. It is deeply ingrained in how capitalism, or at least American-style hyper-capitalism works. Today's appliances, like many consumer products, are built to break. It's not a matter of consumers mistreating their products. It's designed to maximize corporate products, and this is the concept called planned obsolescence. I'd always associated that term with the late John Kenneth Galbraith, the brilliant Harvard economist whose 1958 book, The Affluent Society, warned that an increasing share of America's economy was devoted to making ineffective products and promoting wasteful consumer spending. He explained that companies manufacture our wants through advertising. Design new models of things each year that we need in order to keep up with the Joneses. And even if we don't get seduced by this year's new model, make us keep buying new products because they are designed to fall apart. John Kenneth Galbraith, there he is. It turns out that the Affluent Society helped popularize these ideas, but in fact, Galbraith coined the term planned obsolescence. He didn't coin it. Some trace the origins of the phrase to Bernard London's 1932 pamphlet, Ending the Depression through Planned Obsolescence. Writing in the middle of the Great Depression, London believed that the government should place a legal time limit on the use of consumer goods in order to increase consumption and stimulate the economy. We've typically identified this idea with the automobile industry, and for good reason. In the 1930s, General Motors CEO Alfred Sloan came up with the idea of an annual model year design changes to persuade car owners that they had to buy a new replacement each year. Sloan called this dynamic obsolescence. The phrase planned obsolescence gained popularity after an American industrial designer, Brooks Stevens, gave a talk with that title at an advertising conference in Minneapolis in 1954. It was during the beginning of the post-World War II prosperity, brought about primarily by federal government spending, huge public investments in roads and highways, home building thanks to government subsidized mortgages, higher education through government-backed financial aid, and expansion of university enrollment, and Cold War military spending. But for that prosperity to continue, consumers had to keep consuming more and more. As Stevens explained in his speech, planned obsolescence was instilling in the buyer the desire to own something a little newer, a little better, a little sooner than is necessary. America's post-war prosperity, suburbanization, home ownership, and the new household goods like vacuum cleaners and freezers, they were gaining momentum when the affluent society came out. Galbraith was impressed with America's technological capacity to produce things, but he said that rising gross domestic product was not the best measure of a society's well-being. Did we listen? Galbraith warned that America was investing too little on public needs, education, infrastructure, parks, scientific research to prevent diseases, healthcare, job training, the arts, and safety net provisions for the poor. Big corporations could move quickly to invent and produce new products and whet consumers' appetites. But Democratic government was unable to move as rapidly to raise taxes and invest in public programs. America's priorities way out of whack, Galbraith wrote. For example, if auto companies build more cars, government needs to invest more money on public roads and places to park. Americans have lots of vacuum cleaners in their homes, but governments have too few street cleaning machines. Echoing Stevens' observations, but with a different sense of capitalist morality and ethics, Galbraith noted that the corporations had to manipulate consumers through advertising and market research to feel unsatisfied with their existing standard of living and to demand things they did not have or did not need. I know, I lived it. As a result, America was overloaded with useless products. Big businesses could persuade consumers that the next version of each product, cars, toasters, refrigerators, toys, clothes, televisions, was bigger and better and absolutely necessary. Companies designed major and expensive consumer goods, including cars, to last only a few years before falling apart in order to stimulate demand. Companies also encourage consumers to buy now and pay later. Thank you, Capital One and Symphony Bank, leading many of them to overextend themselves, a trend that led to the explosion of credit cards and massive consumer debt. Galbraith wrote, the affluent society more than a decade before the emergence of the environmental movement. The first Earth Day was in 1970. But he was prescient. Today we understand that much of what is produced in the U.S. and elsewhere, particularly our over-reliance on oil-dependent plastic products, including many of the parts in my washing machine, is wasteful, destined to wind up in landfills, and harmful to the environment and public health. We talk more and more about the importance of sustainability in the way we produce our products and design our cities. Many Americans have become more skeptical about buying gas-guzzling cars or buying a new vehicle just because of a new model change. We kept driving our 2002 Nissan Altima for 14 years, but over that period probably spent 20 grand in repairs, most of it due to mechanical problems and problem parts, not human-made accidents. We replaced it with a new Toyota Camry hybrid, which, according to Consumer Reports, has a good repair record and is fuel efficient. We'll see. Now, this is written in 2016, don't forget. But even the consumers who try to avoid wasteful spending, they can't defend themselves against ongoing onslaught of poorly made products and the debt-driving monster called the warranty. For the next few months, perhaps even a year, we'll wash our plates and glasses in our newly repaired dishwasher. Then, thanks to planned obsolescence, something will break. We'll call Sears and then welcome another repairman into our home. And by the way, guys, I think there's only 7 Sears left in the country. What will we do when the 5-year warranty runs out? I can't plan that far in advance.
How about warming up something simple in the toaster or the microwave? 99% of toasters and 90% of microwaves sold in America come from China. All right, Bobby is also an avid video gamer. Betty's praying that Bobby doesn't ask for a new device to play his latest games because 86% of video game consoles sold in America are made in China, as are 78% of all computer monitors. Let's hope Bobby's a fan of the classics because Betty thinks she can dig out her Nintendo 64 from the depths of her closet. Summer's right around the corner. Betty's looking forward to hosting a 4th of July party. No summer barbecue is complete without hot dogs and hamburgers, which Betty's going to need to grill, but purchasing a new charcoal grill might be out of the question. 96% of charcoal grills are imported from China.